Do you care to preface me the uh-oh stinky story?
Do you want me to read it out loud to you?
Yes, I would love that very much.
Alright, so some context. Terry sounds like a girl's name, but it's a guy's name, okay? So it's Terry and Charlene, and that's the couple, okay?
Okay.
Uh-oh, a short story. It was 11 at night. Terry sat at the cafe table pondering his next move. This past day was wild for him. As he sipped his pure black coffee, he tried to recall everything that happened to him and to his family. Flashback to yesterday. Rise and shine, sweetie. Terry awoke to a calming feminine voice on a beautiful Sunday morning. The voice belonged to his wife, Charlene. She stood over him, tray in hand, and placed it on his lap. Then she turned on the TV and lay down beside him. I decided to make you pancakes and eggs for breakfast for your birthday. I hope you like them. uh, Charlene said excitedly as Terry picked up the fork. He cut out a small triangle of the pancake and took a bite. This is delicious, Charlene, Terry said with a smile. Thanks, but that's not all. I also bought 2 tickets to the zoo for today. There's a unique monkey exhibit, and I know that you love your primates. Stop making fun of me, man. Stop it, man.
No, there's a monkey exhibit.
Yeah, just wait. It gets scarier. We better get going. This is going to be my best birthday yet. And so Terry and Charlene finished breakfast, got dressed, and got in the car to go to the zoo. The drive was pleasant. No red lights, no traffic jams, nothing out of the ordinary. Even the zoo was nice and quiet. No screaming children, no long lines. Today was the perfect day. Finally, Terry and Charlene reached the monkey exhibit. Monkeys evolved, huh? The title of the exhibit is called Monkeys Evolved, just so you
Hmm.
know. So, monkeys evolved, huh? I wonder what they mean by that, Terry muttered under his breath. Apparently, scientists have been communicating with these monkeys for decades, and studies show that they have come closer to humanity than other monkeys in the wild have. Sounds cool. Let's get inside and take a peek. Terry and Charlene entered the exhibit, both wondering just how advanced these primates had evolved. Little did they know, these monkeys had evolved more than scientists advertised. Let's see, I'll try and do like a fake New Zealandish accent type deal for this character. Welcome one and all to the Monkeys Evolved exhibit. I'm your host for today's tour, Francis Green, and today we'll be looking at the most hum- that's a typo. Uh-oh. We'll be looking at the most humanistic, we'll go with the word humanistic in this case, the most humanistic monkeys that the world has to offer. Don't be surprised that this is an open habitat. After all, these monkeys are almost as human as we are. While this is an open habitat, these monkeys most likely won't approach you. The only forms of life they've seen other than each other are the scientists, but they're still a little shy. I hope that I hope the accent is doing the story justice.
Yes.
Okay. The tour for Terry was everything he'd ever dreamed of. He got to see just how evolved these monkeys were, and even saw some playing rock, paper, scissors. Charlene was also having a good time, but she had a suspicious feeling about one monkey. This monkey was a younger monkey, fat, orange, staring at her and Terry from a dark corner. However, this monkey didn't do anything else out of the ordinary, so she brushed off her suspicions. And this concludes the Monkeys Evolve tour. I'm your host, Francis Green, and we hope you've thoroughly enjoyed our exhibit. Have a good day. Um, Terry and Charlene didn't go home right after the tour ended. Instead, they visited all the other zoo exhibits and even made some friends at the zoo restaurant. When all was said and done, it was 6 at night, and they decided to head home. In the Monkeys Evolved exhibit, Dr. Frances Green walked down the long pathway in her exhibit, counting each and every one of her experimental monkeys and making sure none of them escaped. She was a little worried that her exhibit would have done Ari. Hmm? I think that's another typo. but her monkeys stayed and did as they were told. This tour was a beta test, as her monkeys had developed some hostility towards all humans. Reasoning behind this was the method of torture learning that Dr. Green implemented in her experiments. She would starve, beat, or even kill the monkeys that didn't act human. This was her evolved monkeys experiment, and it finally paid off. How do you feel about this story so far?
I love it. I love it.
I'm glad. 31, 32, 33, 34? Where's subject 34? Dr. Green started to get nervous now. Subject 34 was special, as she liked to put it. Suddenly her back hurt, her neck hurt, her right leg hurt. She heard 3 loud bangs to go with the pain. She was getting shot at. She reached for her protection pistol, but no pistol was to be found. With all her strength, she turned around and saw a fat, young orange monkey with her protection pistol, saying what he always said after he witnessed pain in his fellow comrades. Uh-oh, stinky, poopy. Uh-oh, stinky, poopy. Uh-oh, stinky, poopy. Dr. Green's world faded to black. Then, Subject 34 took her keys and exited the building. He looked at the time, 5:30 p.m. He snuck out of the zoo and into a car, knowing it would take him away from this hellhole if he hid in the trunk. He did just that, hiding in the trunk for about 30 minutes before it took him away. That's a foreshadowing. He got him in the back of Terry's car. Back at Terry's house. Well, how was your special day, honey? Charlene said with a smile. Today could not have been better, Charlene, Terry replied with a smile. He hadn't smiled this much since his wedding day. I think I have something that can make today a little better, Charlene replied with a seductive smile. Terry knew exactly what she was talking about and followed her to their bedroom. They closed the door, and at the same time the door shut, the car trunk opened. Inside sat a fat orange monkey.
This is really good, Ben.
Thank you. Later that night, Terry woke up and looked at his alarm. 1:24 in the morning. He needed to use the bathroom, so he got up and went downstairs. While walking down the stairs, he noticed that the trunk was open. He opened the door, went to the car, shut the trunk, and went back inside. He could have sworn he felt something hairy brush against his leg when he opened the door, but he was too tired to care. He went to the bathroom and heard a scream. It was Charlene's scream. He knew right away. He thought nothing of it, however, as Charlene has frequent nightmares. He sprinted upstairs, though, since Charlene's scream was never followed by a loud bang. He got closer to the bedroom and started hearing talking. Uh-oh, Dinky. The bedroom door was open. He peeked in and couldn't comprehend what was happening before his very eyes. Right in front of him lay the body of Charlene, his wife, and a fat orange monkey standing on top of her. He looked at Terry, dead in the eyes, and kept saying what Terry heard outside the bedroom. Uh-oh, stinky, poopy. Uh-oh, stinky. The monkey kept saying this, and while saying this, he put the gun to his own head and started yelling. Uh-oh, stinky, poopy. Uh-oh, stinky, poopy. And with that, the monkey pulled the trigger again. Terry just stood there. His wife was murdered, and the murderer killed himself on his wife's corpse. He took the next day off of work, just sat on his bed, looking at the monstrosity that lay beside him. Towards the night, he left his house and went to a nearby cafe and tried to process what had happened. He sat there for hours on end, and finally looked back at the clock, 11 at night. Terry sipped his pure black coffee and pondered his next move, and at midnight, he knew what he needed to do. He paid for the coffee and drove back home. 1 week later, Officer Harlan drove up to the house of 2 reported missing persons, Terry and Charlene Jamison. He walked up to the front door, knocked a few times, and realized the door was unlocked. He entered soon after. He took a big sniff of the house, a trait he had since he was a boy. He thought you could get a feel for a person right away if you smelled what their house smelled like. He didn't know how to feel about the Jameson house. It smelled rank, but it also had a fruity smell to the air, like something died. He walked around the first floor, nothing out of the ordinary, and headed upstairs. What he saw upstairs was jaw-dropping. There sat the corpse of Charlene Jameson, a monkey on top of her, and to the side, the corpse of Terry Jameson, hanging from the ceiling. On the walls was writing, written in blood, that said only 4 words. Uh-oh. Stinky. Poopy. The end.